The story of President Kaongo begins on a humid Tuesday morning when a group of fiery young protesters stormed the Parliament building, waving banners and chanting, "Kaongo must go!" The air was thick with rebellion, fueled by decades of overtaxation, broken promises, and a parade of bizarre laws that included a chicken-keeping license costing half a year's salary. What the youth didn't expect, however, was that Kaongo had ordered his guards to defend the parliament with the precision of a well-trained circus act. Except, instead of juggling balls, they juggled bullets. The protesters didn't falter. They surged forward, some ducking for cover, others scaling walls like caffeinated lizards, determined to take down the man who had risen from humble beginnings as a chicken farmer and preacher to the most feared and most ridiculed leader the country had ever seen. Kaongo's rise to power was legendary, though riddled with irony. Once a poor, humble preacher, he used to deliver fiery sermons under the shade of a baobab tree, clutching a Bible in one hand and a chicken in the other. "The Lord blesses the patient," he often preached. Little did anyone know patience wasn't Kaongo's strong suit. When he won the presidency, he promised to end corruption, build roads, and reduce taxes. Instead, he became a tyrant who taxed everything from air to laughter. There was a rumor that Kaongo once fined an entire village for sneezing too loudly, but his real downfall came when he imposed a chicken tax, claiming it was to honor his humble beginnings. People joked that Kaongo's chickens must have demanded reparations, but Kaongo wasn't just comically cruel, he was dangerously paranoid. Anyone who dared question his policies mysteriously disappeared, often during market days when witnesses were too busy haggling over overpriced tomatoes. His regime became synonymous with fear, and even his portraits in government offices seemed to glare menacingly at visitors. The youth couldn't take it anymore. They organized themselves on social media, declaring, "Enough is enough." They marched to the parliament, armed with nothing but their voices and the hope that their sheer numbers would force Kaongo to step down. As the bullets rained down and the cries of the wounded echoed in the air, a few brave protesters managed to breach the parliament gates. Inside, they were met with a bizarre sight. Kaongo seated on a golden throne, surrounded by live chickens. "You think you can unseat me?" he bellowed. "I am ordained by God and protected by poultry." The protesters stared in disbelief. Was this a man or a caricature of power gone mad? "You've taxed us to death," one protester shouted. "You've broken every promise you made." Kaongo laughed. Promises? Those were merely suggestions. The scene turned chaotic. More guards poured in, armed with tear gas and riot shields. But the youth weren't backing down. As smoke filled the air, chants of "Kaongo must go" grew louder. The standoff became a turning point in the country's history. While the protest didn't immediately topple Kaongo, it sparked a nationwide movement. His days as president were numbered, and the chickens, his only loyal supporters, couldn't save him. Kaongo's tale is a cautionary one. No matter how high you rise, if you treat people like pawns and chickens like royalty, you'll end up with an angry mob at your gates, and possibly your downfall written as the punchline of a nation's history.